Hello everyone and thank you very much for joining me in this tutorial. So in this lecture, I'm going to talk about the steps one needs to follow for deploying a Spring Boot application on a Linux server. So this is the one which is currently running on my local device, right on port number 8080. And this is the one which I have successfully deployed on an Amazon Linux server, right, and it's running on the public IP of that server. Okay, this is where I've deployed the server. It's in North, and Stockholm is the place where the server is currently placed. Right now, what all things I've done, what all steps I've followed for deploying this server, and also for hosting the Spring Boot application on this server, that is what I'm going to talk about in this video. So stay tuned with me and do not skip any part of the video. Watch this video completely from the beginning till the end. Okay, and in case you come across any issues while setting it up on your device, let me know in the comment section below so that I can help you guys with the same. Right, this is one thing. Then you don't have to worry about the code of the application also, because every single thing which I'm going to tell you here in this video will be shared with you guys in the form of a link in the description section below. So from there you can just download the content, download the static files, download the code also, and you can try to set it up on your own Linux server. Okay, so let's dive into the lecture without wasting any more time. This is where I have set up my Spring Boot application. This is a directory, the root directory, where we have two folders, src, and we have the Stargate named folder. So if you are a Spring Boot developer, you must be knowing about this pom.xml, right? So this is basically where we define the dependencies, right? So this is the pom.xml code. I'm going to give you in the description section below in the form of a link, so no need to worry about this. So once you're done with creating the pom.xml, the next thing that comes is creating the controller, right? The My Spring Boot application controller. So this is the default controller which you can create yourself, or you can also download it from the internet. So it's a very simple thing which you can do. Then this is something which I've created on my own. Okay, it's a custom controller which is having a route, and this route will redirect the user to this particular template. Okay, so we have a template in place called camera.html to which this route will redirect the user to. So as you can see over here, the application is currently running, and how I am running this application, let me tell you that too. So you need to have MVN and Java installed on your device, right? Then only you can run a Spring Boot application. This is something for those to whom Spring Boot is new. Now, if you see here, the application is running on the local host port number 8080. Okay, and what is the Java version that I'm using? Let's check that too. So it is so it is 23.0.1 that I'm using, and let's check the MVN version also. Okay, so it's 23.0.1 Java. Okay, and MVN is, I think, 10.0, right? Sorry, this is my Windows version. I'm using 3.9.9. Okay, so this is the configuration of my Maven and my Java on my local. Now, when you are deploying your application on Linux or on Windows, you have to make sure that whatever Java version or whatever MVN version or whatever dependencies version you're using on your local, same dependencies version should be there on that hosting server also, right? So the first thing that we have to do here is, so here in this notepad file, I have listed down all the steps that you need to follow once your Linux server is there in place. Before discussing about these points, let me just tell you about the steps that you need to follow for deploying the Linux server. So I'm going to show you the same thing which I did for creating the Linux server on which the application is currently hosted. So here you can put a random name like Gaurav K Jain I'm putting here, and then you have to come down here. You have to select Amazon Linux, and then here you can select either 2019 or you can go with this one also. It's one and the same thing, and then either you can choose t2.micro or t3.micro is also fine. Now you have to create a new key pair. Okay, this is something required for accessing the Linux server through file transfer protocol softwares like MobileStorm or FileZilla. So once you are done with hitting this create key pair, a key pair will get downloaded, a PEM key pair will get downloaded, which you can use for accessing the server, right? Then you have to allow these two HTTPS and HTTP traffic from the internet, and once that is done, you can simply launch the instance. Okay, now once the instance is launched, what is the next thing that you have to do? You have to configure port number 80. Okay, so you have to simply come inside the instance, and then you have to come in security, and here you'll find the security groups. Just click on it, and that's where you'll find the edit inbound rules option. Now here you can simply put or define custom TCP for port 8080, because 8080 is something on which a Spring Boot runs, right? So we want it to just open, just put 8080 over here, and here you can select 0.0.0.0/0 and just save the rules. So this is something which I created on my own, and these three came from the configuration which I set while I was creating the instance. So once you're done with creating all these rules, what is the next thing? So you can simply come on your instance like this. Okay, and here you have to click here and click on next, and then you have to come over here. Okay, because it's a Linux server, so we don't require this. You can simply come in this MobileStorm. Okay, and you can open a new tab like this, and here I'm going to exit. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to come on sessions, come on SSH, and here you have to put the public IP address of your instance. So this is the one, and you have to specify this username, EC2 user. Now where is this username coming from? Let me just show you that also. So if you see here, the username is mentioned as EC2 user, so that's where you'll find the username. Same thing you have to put over here also. Come on advanced SSH settings, select use private key, and then you have to select the private key, that .pm key, right? And simply click OK, and it will allow you to log into the system, right? So that's how you can access your Linux server. Okay, now what is the next thing that you have to do after accessing the Linux server? That is what I'm going to show you now. Okay, coming back to the notepad file, the next thing that we have to do is sudo yum update. You have to update all the libraries, all the default libraries of your Linux. That's the command which you can simply copy and fire over here. Then the next thing that comes is we have to install Java 23, right? So this is a package that we need. Okay, now how I got this link, let me just show that also to you, because in case you're using some other version, this command will not work. So what do you have to do? You have to simply come on this website. Sorry, it should be like this. Simply type Java download. Okay, and then you have to come on the Oracle website, and that's where you'll find all these links, right? So if you're using some other version, let's say 21 or lower versions, you can simply download, you can simply take the link from here and use this key. So when you use this command, what will happen? It will download for you a file like this. Just a second, I am coming to here, user, and then we have to come on. So home and then EC2 user, yeah. So that's where you have to download the tar file. Okay, this file. How you will do it? When you will log in into your system, Okay, don't do anything, just copy and paste this command. Automatically this file will get downloaded over here inside this EC2 username directory. Once that is done, you have to run this file. You have to extract the content from this file. So this is the command that you can simply run to extract the content of the file. This is a command that you have to run for downloading the tar file. Okay, and this is what you have to run for extracting it. See, everything got extracted, and finally, you know what happened was a folder named jdk23.o.1 got created over here. Okay, once you have this folder, what you have to do, you have to move this folder from this current location to this location, user library JVM. So let me just show it to you. So here, if you see, I have this folder JDK 23.0.1. So earlier it was there in your EC2 username directory, and after you fire this command, it will automatically come over here, right? Because MV stands for move. Now you have to open this file, bash.profile. Okay, what you'll get after opening this file, let me show you that too. Okay, opening this file. So when you'll open this file, these are the 3 lines that you'll find over here: bash profile, get the aliases, user specific environment. The next thing that you have to do is you have to set up the Java home variable and the path variable. So it will help the Linux server to locate the exact directory in which the Java libraries and dependencies are present. Okay, you have to add these 2 lines to this particular file like the way I have done, and simply you can Control X to come out of the file. Just do this to save the changes, and then you can check the Java version. So if you see, it's giving me 23.0.1. Same thing you also should get once you're done with all these steps. Okay, the next thing that comes is installation of Maven. So for that, you have to cd into the directory named opt. Now where you'll find it. So currently we are inside EC2 user, right? Now I'll do a cd dot dot. I'm inside home. I'll again do a cd dot dot. I have come outside home. Now what is there outside home? Let's check it out. So this is where my home directory is present. Okay, now I am here, right? Now if you see, we have a directory called opt over here. So let me just do cd opt, and that's where you have to fire this command. So once you fire this command, what will happen? This tar file will get downloaded automatically. Okay, because I'm using 3.9.9. See, I'm using 3.9.9. That's the reason I use this. If you're using some other Maven version, just go ahead and download that Maven file, tar of Maven over here, and then you can simply extract the content. Okay, after you extract the content, what will happen? A folder will get created over here, Apache Maven 3.9.9. See, this folder you will get over here inside the same directory called opt, and then you have to create a link between this directory, okay, and this user local Maven. Fine, so that's how, this is the command with the help of which you can create a link. Let me just take you to this directory. Let's see what do we have over there. See, user local Maven, okay, and then we have this bin named folder. So that's how you have to connect the 2 directories with each other. Okay, and this is where you'll find this Maven thing. Now if I will click on it, it will take me to this Apache Maven -3.9.9. So it's a sim link basically which I've created. Fine. So this is a command that you have to fire for creating the link. What is the next thing? Add Maven's bin directory to your path. The way we've added Java, the steps which we have followed for extracting Java and then establishing a path, all that you have to follow for Maven also. So you have to open this file. Fine, simply open this file, and you have to copy and paste these 3 lines of code over here in this file. Once you're done with that, Control S for saving the changes, Control X for coming out. Once you're done with coming out, what do you have to do? You have to simply reload the environment, and that's how you can do it. And then you can check for the Maven version. So if you see, my Maven version is 3.9.9 and Java version is 23.0.1. So I'm done with installing all the libraries which are required for running my application on this Linux server. Same thing I think you have also done. You have also accomplished it. So let's come on the next steps. Upload your Spring Boot application to EC2. Now, when it comes to uploading the Spring Boot application, we do not upload this whole directory and this whole code that you're seeing over here. What we do is we simply run this command. There is this command called npm clean package. Okay, now what it will do, see, if you see over here in this target, there is nothing like a jar file. Okay, when you will run this command, what will happen? It will check everything, whatever we have written in our Spring Boot application, and it will create a jar file like this for us. Okay, now you have to copy this jar file, and where you have to paste it, let me just show it to you. So our user is EC2 user, correct? So you have to come inside home, and then you have to come inside EC2 user, and that's where you will paste your jar file. Okay, now once this jar file is there, what is the next step? See, I've written the command over here. You can SSH also, or you can simply just take this and put it over here. This will also work. Fine. Okay, what is the next thing? Let's come on the notepad file. Now, for running the application on Linux, simply use this command. You can simply put this command over here, execute it, and when you will execute it, you will be able to see your application coming up on the port 8080 of your public IP address of your Linux server. Okay, and if it hasn't come, it means that you have missed a step, or you have not done something correctly. That is the reason you're not able to access your application port number 8080 of your public IP. And if it runs, it means that you have done everything correctly till here. Okay, now we cannot, if we close the server, what will happen? This command will stop executing, and this application also will stop running on this port number 8080. But what we want is it should keep running on this port 8080. So we have to create an infinite loop kind of a thing. How we'll do it? So the next thing that comes is creating a service file. Okay, once this service is there, what will happen? We just have to run this service once, and then till the time you shut down the Linux server, the service will remain on and your application will be up. Even when you log out from this Linux server, your application will not go down on port number 8080. That's the reason we have to create a Spring Boot service. How we'll do it? So we can create a new file service. Where you have to do it? etc systemd system spring boot app.service. That's where you'll create this service file. Let me just take you to this directory. So this is the command which you have to fire, and automatically over here in this directory you will see spring boot -app. Where is that? Yeah, this is the file. Now let me just open it up for you. You can open it up in VS Code, or if you have some other editor, you can open it up in that also. But now I'm opening it up in VS Code. Now what is the next thing you have to do? You have to simply copy this whole code. From this point till this point, you have to copy and simply paste it over here. Now in this execute start, what I've done is I've mentioned the path of the Java file which is present on my Linux server. So if you remember, we created a folder named JDK 23.0.1, and then we moved it to this directory, and inside this, when you will see, you will find a bin name folder, inside which you will find this Java named file. Let me just show that also to you. Coming back to the Linux server, here we have to come inside bin, and that's where I'll be able to, I think, locate my Java file. This is the Java file, right? So this is the location that we have to put over here, and then jar is the command for running the jar file, right? And where is this jar file present? This is the location of my jar file. That is the reason I mentioned it like this. Once you're done with putting all this over here in this file, you just have to save it, close the file. That's it. Okay, now you have to start the application. So this is how, this is the command with the help of which you can start the service you have created. Copy and paste this command. Okay, let me just show it to you once. So I'm copying it, coming back to the Linux server. Here I have to simply remove this, and now I can simply paste it over here. So the service is up, I guess. Let me just enable it also, and now I have to check the status of this service. So if you see, the service is active, and now when you will check your port number 8080, you'll find the application running. So even if I now exit, take an exit from this Linux, the application will not stop, it will keep running on port number 8080. Now I don't want port number 8080, I want port number 80, or I want only this public IP address. Okay, I just want that if I remove this port number 8080, then also I should see my application up on the public IP of the Linux. How we do it? So we have to create a proxy for that. Okay. So here in this lecture, for this particular application, I've used Nginx. Simply copy and paste this command in your terminal over here. Okay, simply paste this command. Sorry, just a second. Okay, copy this command and paste it over here and simply run it. Okay, it will install Nginx on your Linux server. Once Nginx is there, the next thing that comes is configuring this file nginx.conf. Okay, remember this, because if you are even if you are hosting some other kind of an technology based application, like if you're using React, or if you're trying to host a Django application, Python based application, then also this is something which is common. Okay, just open this file, and what you have to do, you have to simply copy and paste these lines. So if you see, I've mentioned listen 80, so I want this server to listen on port number 80, and this is the proxy that I've created. So whatever traffic it is generating on port number 8080 on local, it should get redirected to this port number 80. That is what I'm telling to this Linux server from this Nginx proxy. Okay, once this is there, you can simply enable Nginx, and then you can come on your browser, simply put your IP address or your Linux IP address over here and execute the enter button. You'll find your application running on the Linux public IP address. Now if I type 80 over here, see, it's still running on that. Right, so this is how you can host your application on a Linux server. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section in case you come across any issues with any of the steps which I've shared with you in this video. I'm going to share the code as well as all the steps which I've noted down in a notepad file with you guys in the form of a link in the description section below, from where you can download it and just try to set it up on your Linux as well. That is it from my side in this lecture. Bye bye, take care, and have a great day, guys.